Welcome to Crappens. Don't wait a week for a new video. Join our Patreon at the Crappens On Demand level for instant recap access. Link in description. Enjoy the show. Oh, hello, and welcome to the dulcet sounds of Watch What Crappens. I'm Ronnie. That's Ben over there. Hello, Ben.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Welcome to your life, Ben.
Thank you so much. Welcome to your life.
Thank you. So glad to be living it. Thank you, everybody. Sit down. Have
Isn't
a
that
seat,
the
everybody. Have a seat. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Today is Below Deck Day. You know, what a day. I mean, it is just to watch. It's so fun to watch little toxic seeds grow. You know, Fraser has been planting little seeds of toxicity all season. And I have to hand it to him. It usually takes a season or two to watch these things grow on television, but his grow right away. I mean, he turned Paris into a monster within 5 minutes. That was the quickest growing seed of toxicity. It's a bloom. It's a full toxic bush now. So thank you, Fraser. Nice work.
Yeah. Also, in terms of if we're giving out awards, you guys don't realize this. You've tuned in to the 2024 Toxies Award Show, where we're handing out Toxies for best toxic behaviors. And we also have to give one to Ben for being able to pummel Sunny down into submission, where she has now really she's really allowed to put all the issues in their relationship on her own shoulders and reframe it as like her fault for being too invested. So congrats, Ben, on your toxic behavior for wearing down this poor lady, and you get an award. You get a toxie.
I mean, truly well done. Really a lesson to all the fuckboys out there. If you really want to get along well with women while you're fucking them over, basically, like, anyway, I guess it's more of a lesson to us who have to deal with fuckboy. Anybody who has to deal with a fuckboy, the lesson to us, I guess, is just give them whatever they want and make no arguments and just apologize a lot as they fuck you over, and you'll feel great. Now, that said, I mean, it is much better when you just look at someone as a masturbatory meat puppet, which is what she's pretending to do. I don't really believe it, because she's entering that phase where she's just like, oh, I'm so happy. Which, as we know that personality. That is a Shannon Bedore personality from Real Housewives of Orange County, which is now the second time that's come up this weekend in our recaps. And we'll see where that leads. I can guarantee it's not anywhere that's fun for Sunny. Okay.
Also, I have a surprise toxie to hand out that I don't think you probably ever saw coming. I want to give out a surprise toxie to the matriarch of the family that came on Below Deck. I think her name is Noreen. She gets a toxie because you can tell that she is very domineering in a very pleasant and waspy way to her daughters. And to that, I say, congratulations, you get a toxie for Gay Icon Toxie Award, because that's what we love. We love Madeline Stowe types.
She was like so fun loving and like
that's how she presents. But I guarantee, like at home, she's like, oh, Cassie, that's what you're gonna wear tonight? Okay, well, I guess if you can live with it, I can live with it.
Cassie, I applaud your bravery in just going so overboard on your calories today, not even caring. I mean, good for you.
You know, my daughters are really, they're like my best friends, because if I'm not their best friend, who will be? Am I right? Okay.
Best and only, am I right? I mean, it's too long of a nickname for your mom, but
I felt this woman seems so nice, and her daughters, they all seem like a very healthy family, but there was something about her that I was drawn to. You know, that energy that like excites us gays, where we're like, oh my God, I feel like
an abusive
like this is a strong female figure.
I stand her.
There was just something about it where I was like, ugh, I want to know more, because you know that she has like some sort of like very wide smile that hides like an evil interior in the best way.
Well, look at her husband walking around like, let me look at your engine. She's murdering puppies in her mind all day long. All right, well, the point is, the belabored point is, this is Below Deck Day. We're going to Europe this week for shows. Next week, we're in a comedy festival in London. I don't remember what it's called. London Comedy Festival.
It's a podcast festival called The Podcast Show, actually.
The Podcast Show. I'm an idiot and do not have my information up. And guess when I learned things? 5 minutes before, or when I show up there, singing the theme to, singing all the songs from Sweeney Todd, because I'm an ignorant fool and really know Sweeney Todd and Mary Poppins. Okay, so that's what you're getting with me, London. Good luck. So we're coming there next week for that podcast festival. It's going to be great. They're going to love me after this great endorsement. And then we're going to be in Dublin and Birmingham. So London sold out. We still have some tickets for Birmingham and the other place, Dublin. Cannot wait to see you guys. Please wear kilts, because that's so hot to us. Do not listen to Barbie.
That's Scotland, but that's
I don't care. It's close enough. Regionally, it's close enough that you guys can borrow from some culture. I need to see kilts. Okay.
We are going to Sweden first, so again, kilts. We do require some kilts in Sweden.
We're going to Taylor Swift. I want to see kilts. Hey, London, you too, actually. Throw on some fucking kilts. Let's just all get some kilts going.
Everywhere, kilts.
Yeah. And that's that. So today, here we are. We're excited. In other words, I sound like I'm blasé. I'm so excited. I keep waking up. For some reason, I wake up like, oh my God, where am I? Why don't I speak any language? But even English. Why don't I even know that? But the music that's playing in my head is that Beyonce song with Miley Cyrus. I'll be your shotgun rider. Ben, I see you shopping online, by the way, on your glasses.
I'm looking at the podcast show. I know my reading glasses betray me. No, I'm looking at the podcast show website to see who else is going to be here, and I can't find anything.
I thought you were shopping.
No, I'm not shopping.
Obsessed with suitcases right now. Okay, so Ben,
but I am listening. Notice that I was able to start singing along with your Beyonce and Miley Cyrus. Shotgun rider till the end of time. Till the end of time. Driving down the 405. I don't remember.
Yeah, down the 405. Who wants to drive down the 405? Get a closer freeway. That sounds so far. By the way, where do they live?
A proper shotgun friend will say, let's not take the 405. Let's take Laurel Canyon or something
Laurel
else.
Canyon. No friend wants to, you can't shotgun ride on Laurel Canyon. You just sit in traffic the whole day. Anyway, we don't have one. We're going to be here 10 hours trying to just start this fucking recap. We're both Looney Tunes today. We're going to Europe. See you there. Okay, let's get on with Below Deck, shall we? Ben, you're lucky I'm talking to you. My dad would not approve of this. You're way too poor. So you're welcome. You're welcome for my company today.
Okay, I'm closing out the podcast show tab. I just wanted to see what other podcasts were going to be there. So Below Deck, welcome back to the Toxies. Okay, so we see palm trees up so high. A thought to start the podcast. A thought to start the episode. Oh, it's the lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that song. Sorry, I got really excited. That song. Palm trees up so high, sunlight in my eyes. Why are you staring at the sun, girl? Why are you surprised the palm trees are tall?
Palm trees, sunlight, staring at the sunlight. Ow, ow, ow. The rest of the lyrics are just, ow, I can't see. Why do I see spots? I can't see your face. I'm driving off the road.
I thought it was only during an eclipse you weren't supposed to stare at the sun. I want to stare at the sun. Want to blind myself tonight. What is Sheryl Crow even talking about, by the way? Have we ever really like sat down with Sheryl Crow and said, you have terrible ambitions?
Remember when Sheryl Crow came out, her big invention was really long sleeves that touched the floor so that you could wipe.
Her big invention.
You could use it as napkins. Remember when she's like,
yes,
I believe in conservation, so I invented sleeves that you also use as napkins. And people are like,
That's just called sleeves.
Literally stupid. Okay, so we cut to the captain.
Every day is a winding road. Has anyone ever checked on Sheryl Crow to make sure she's just not drunk? It's like, Sheryl, every day is just like a straight road. You're just drunk.
Sheryl, this is a go-kart.
Sheryl, you just crashed into a palm tree. Palm trees up so high.
Sheryl, you're in a ball pit. Okay, so then we cut to Captain Carey, and he's like, O Patal Sarkisi Kindini Koeti. which means that stupid singer blinded herself. So he's everyone's waking up. Barbie and Kyle are in the same bunk, and he's like, I don't want to leave. And she's like, get out of here. I have a dad. And I don't know how he's going to feel about this. My dad hates mornings, and he hates when I sleep with people. If I mix both of those things, I'm never getting another purse. Get out of my bed.
Yeah. And now it's time for a deck meeting. So there's going to be a family of 3 kids coming on, but they're like not kids. They're like teenagers slash young adults, college age, just hot girls, basically, like hot legal girls. And so now there's a stew meeting, and Fraser's like, all right, everyone, we're going to do a beach picnic. I want you to run that weird chef as well. Please make sure he feels bad about every garnish or lack thereof. Paris, you know what to do. Oil drips. That's right.
Yeah, he's so terrible. He's just his undermining. I mean, sowing those seeds, the toxic seeds. Here he goes. All right, go do the beach picnic. Don't forget, you're on the chef's ass all day long. And then what do you think is going to happen when Paris finally gets called out on this? He's just going to back off and act like Paris was a bad employee, and he'll take care of it from now on because he's dependable. This fucking guy. I can't believe this guy's getting away with all of this. All right, so I'm mad. Sorry, spoiler alert. Fraser is still like bungling this job. So Paris is like, well, am I supposed to hold his hand? And he goes, well, be responsible for fuck-ups because it's Charter 8. We don't want to get in trouble. So everybody woos, and now it's time for provisions, which has always seemed like such a simple... Oh, no, never mind. I can't say that.
Yes.
Sorry, spoil. Never
Pause
mind.
that thought for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So then it's like time for provisions. So Barbie and Kyle are making out on the stairs. Sounds like they have provisioned some love. And Kyle's like, what have you done for me, for fuck's sake, woman? Arr." And then we see Ben and Dylan cleaning, and Ben's like, so there can be some pretty charter guests coming on board. And Dylan's like, oh, do you think if one of them kissed, if one of them kissed, then we would get in trouble? Do you think we could kiss any of them and not get in trouble? And Ben's like, well, Fraser did that on the last charter, so technically we should be okay. I'm like, are you already preparing to throw Fraser under the bus, like retroactively now?
Yes, and isn't it enough you get to bang your fucking employees, Ben? Okay, without like leave the gay alone. Okay, I know I'm attacking him, but I'm from over here. I can attack him. And also, the gays never get anything on this boat. I mean, Kyle
Never.
did, I guess, technically, but Kyle really tried very hard. You know, let Fraser pretend he has feelings for a second. Okay,
Yeah.
he needs the arc.
Yeah. So Barbie calls up her mom and she's like, Mom, this has been like more suffering than fun, kind of like the time we had to drink Fanta because we ran out of Diet Coke. But anyway, one of the guys here, he's like totally nothing. Like, he's like nothing to do with who I am. Like, not the sort of person I would normally ever go for, but like, I'm totally into him, Mom.
And she's telling us, yeah, there's a world over there, and then there's this little world called Yacht Life, and you're not thinking about the world over there, how we would fit in. Like, are my parents going to like him? Like, what's going to happen with this guy? Am I ever going to be able to afford a decent bag with this guy? Like, you have to think about that kind of thing, because normally I wouldn't be with that kind of guy. Like, I am, so, like, I really have to think about that. Like, what am I going to do? What is my dad going to think? Like, I can't believe I'm with someone poor. It's, like, ridiculous. I mean, Barbie is, like, made for TV. They just sit her down, and she just goes through every issue she can possibly.
I know.
Do you want me to start a fight with that production assistant? Because I'll fucking do it right now. My dad doesn't mind me fighting. I'll do that right now. Do you need it for? Do you need film? Do we need footage or something? Because I'll fucking do it right now.
So then then Kyle just comes on over and just pats her ass. And he's like, hello there. And she's like, oh, Mom, this is the guy I was telling you about. I know. He's attractive, but in a strange way. Like, he'll be attractive in 20 years, but, like, not yet. But you can see it's going to happen. Yeah. He's, like, very Adam Driver-ish, but nothing like that at the same time. You get what I'm talking about?
He's like an Adam Driver that stayed poor. Am I right? Isn't that funny? Hey, Mom, do you know what I always tell Kyle? Like, I don't even think he should wear a tux if we get married. I think he should just like wear a cardboard sign that says like "We'll work for beer." You know what I mean? That would be funny. So anyway, Kyle, you're not helping things with your body language. Okay, Kyle comes in. He's rubbing her ass.
Yes.
She's on the phone with her mom, and then he kind of still keeps rubbing her ass, and then he moves his hands and instead lifts him over his head and gives her armpit. Like, what is that?
Yeah. It was like, and then I think he, like, rubs Barbie's shoulder a little bit, which is there's nothing wrong with that. But it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, she has concerns about like the PDA with her parents and yada yada yada. So I would have just like been just like a little bit more like, I think if you're like meeting parents for the first time, you're just not so casual with your body language, I guess is what I'm saying, which is
Yeah.
agreeing with you. It's like you're just like a little bit more aware of how you're presenting yourself. And he's like, "Oh, how's it going over there? That's pretty good over here. Jacked one off this morning, and I'm gonna smoke my pipe later."
Hey there, I'm fucking your daughter. She's pretty good at it, gotta say. So Barbara's like, yeah, this is the homeless person probably that I was telling you about. And she's like, oh, he's so handsome. Wow, you look very good. And he's like, all right, well, bone you later, Barb. All right, gotta go. So he leaves, and then the mom's like, beautiful accent. Fuck him now. Because the mom's like really free. or
Sex
whatever.
therapist.
Yeah.
So now there's more cleaning, and Fraser and Captain are at the bar because Captain Carey's being like super meticulous since this is a yacht owning family. And so
Yeah, but he's so meticulous. But I think he's a little performative. I'm gonna go out and say it now. I think he's a great captain. I haven't really found anything to find fault in him this season. But when he walked up to the bar and lifted the rubber mats on the bar and went, "What's this? What's this for?" And Fraser had to say, "You put those on the bar to not stain the marble when you put glasses on. They're glass." They're very typical glass rubber things that go on the bar. I was confused, and then I thought, is he lying? Has he been lying about his resume this whole time? Is he like that Russian chef who pretended she knew what nachos were?
is that Fraser or the captain lying?
The captain.
No, I mean I don't think it's performative because I feel like if it was performative, he would just be like sitting up in the wheelhouse the entire time, and then like all of a sudden is like very fussy for like one moment. But I think he's come through and he's done checks. He's been doing it all season where he's like, all right, we're gonna do a lock three right now. So I feel like it's a genuine meticulousness. So I don't think it's performative actually.
Well, no, I mean his whole. Do you think he's really a captain, or do you think he like works at Chuck E. Cheese and he's?
Oh,
Just
he might work
faking
at
it?
Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. Oh, that
think
one's
he's just
obvious.
faking it.
It's
Yeah, I
obvious he's
think-
never driven a boat. I mean,
I don't think he's even driven a boat because he doesn't know what bar mats are, which is weird. That's what I'm saying. I'm suspicious of the whole person.
now that you say it that way, I'm realizing that like it's just been pure luck that he's been able to get the boat in and out of the dock so many
Yeah,
times.
I think I was understating it at first. So he's like, yeah, that's so you don't stain the marble, stupid. And the captain's like, oh, that, by the way, that's Turkish for oh.
Got it. Thank you so much for teaching me that, Captain. So then he was checking the bathrooms, like, pass, pass. And then he's like, these guests have their own yacht. They expect the best. We haven't had this high caliber client yet. The crew needs to step it up. No mistakes. So, and by the way, at this point, I'm thinking, oh, they have their own yacht. Like they have something that's in a slip somewhere in Monaco, like some big ass yacht. But we find out later on they have like a little yacht in Newport Beach. And like that's not nothing. Obviously those boats cost a lot, but like that's basically the boat that's like the boat that they went on Orange County last season where Heather Dubrow goes, "Is there another floor?" Every time that makes me laugh. Every time I said when Heather Dubrow came up to like, "Is there another floor upstairs? Is there another?" No, it's no. And it's like that. It's like a little baby yacht. So I kind of don't feel like maybe this is wrong. I hate to offend yacht owners out there, but I kind of feel like owners of little baby yachts are not going to be like, oh, well, they don't have the toilet paper folded in a little triangle in my guest room, 'cause I just don't see it. There's not enough space to be that meticulous on the little yacht, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like getting onto like a luxury bus and being like, "Oh, I have a bicycle." They're like, okay. Get the fuck on the bus? Like, what do I care?
It is
It's not the same thing.
exact. It's almost, you know what it is? It's like if you've got like one of those tiny like BMWs, like a 2-seater that's like really cute. So it's luxury. It's nice. But then you get into some big ass like luxury SUV and all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, they drive a BMW. So they're going to be super demanding about what this SUV is. It's like, no, they just have like a little 2-seater.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a hill that's really worth dying on, but it's a hill I'm
Well, who
enjoying
needs to
climbing
die
up.
on it? Just it's a hill to be a bitch on. That's
I'm,
what I say.
it's a hill I'm being a bitch about. I love that, like, for some reason, there's a really nice family.
Stand on the
I'm
hill and
like,
be a bitch. It's better to be a bitch on a hill than it is on flat land. That's what I say.
I'm like, I don't know why. It's like, this perfectly nice family. I'm like, they're not going to be that meticulous because their yacht's not big enough.
Well, that's the problem with being rich is that there's always something better, right? It's like, oh, we own a boat. Well, you're on a bigger boat, so shut up because your boat sucks. You know what I mean? And it's always like that. It's like you can finally get a car, and then you get a car that's maybe nicer than your last car, but then all you can see are the even nicer cars. You know? I mean, it's just that's the
The grass
cycle.
is always greener.
Yeah. On someone else's. These guests have their own yacht. Expect the best. We haven't had this high caliber client yet. The crew needs to step it up. No mistakes. So, guest in 5, everybody, get ready. And then we see something I've been totally wondering about is that shot in the beginning of Paris just staring and doing precision work over something. In the opening, it's like, and Paris, and it shows her, and she's like, I'm a stew, and she's like doing precision, looking like CSI. And I was like, wow, what is that? And it was her looking at champagne glasses. We saw the shot in this thing, and I was like, wow, full circle. The season is almost over. We're seeing the most important scenes coming to life.
All the pieces are falling into place. Yeah. So then a girl comes down the deck, and then the chef is like, "That looks like my girlfriend." I know it's not though, because she still has a Chanel bag. And then because all the people are walking forward. By the way, I should say those are the people. The guests are arriving. I should say. I don't know why I'm saying it this way. So
The guys' tongues are like, girls, it's girls! It's girls coming down the dock! Like, they're so excited. They're all Mrs. Patmore. Daisy! It's women coming down the dock, Daisy! Hurry, get the rolling pin!
It's so funny they mentioned Mrs. Patmore because I was definitely going to say that Kyle is giving the energy of the valet who marries whatever that daughter was, the daughter. The valet, they all of a sudden have a valet in the family. They're uneasy about it because they're like, it's a valet, but he married our wealthy daughter. That's what Kyle is.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So the guys are like, "Wah-hoo!" Like the cartoon eyes are poking out. And I mean, I think everybody's very pretty, but it's also just like people who were let out of prison for the first time, It's like an old Western where the guys just get out of the county jail and they go straight to the bordello, and they're like, what are we going to get here? And there's just a bunch of bored hookers.
Yeah.
Not really saying the daughters are like bored hookers. Never mind.
The daughters are like
going with this, but
the daughters are like very lovely. They're very lovely and they're very pretty. But these guys are acting like they have been holed up in a cell for 20 years, and now it's their first time seeing fresh meat. And so it's like, all right, welcome everyone, welcome hot people. Come on, you got to take a tour of where hot people can rest around and get drinks. Come on, Fraser will take you on a tour. And it's like, oh, so I've heard you've done yachting before. And the dad's like, yeah, Newport Beach. Oh, how sad that you say Newport Beach and it means anything to a European. Okay, I love that for you.
Wow, a town named after the same amount of time you've had your money. New money on board. But I'm glad to have any, honestly.
We don't have Newports in Europe. They've all been around for at least 2,000 years. So enjoy.
We've just got ports where I'm from.
Have you seen Malta? I believe its castles were built by dinosaurs, okay?
And he's giving him the tour, and he's like, this is the hot tub. You can see everything from there. And the dad's like, well, we're a family crew. Now, I don't know if that was creepy or not. I didn't get a creepy vibe. At first, I did. I had to rewatch it because I was like, please don't be a creepy family. Please.
Yeah. I didn't feel like he said it in a creepy way, but to me, I was like, this is intention versus impact. And I was like, that is kind of a creepy thing to say, though.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell if he was like, hey, we're a family crew here, Fraser. Or if he was like, we're a family crew. So, why I'm acting like this today. I've got to. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm cracked out. Oh, maybe it's because I'm on like my third coffee since 5:30 this morning. Anyway, point is, Fraser is like, this is what I do. Working for a family, they have money, they're bringing their children on board to celebrate being their children. They're not like other guests we've had this season. Cut to the king and queen. Cut to Jill going, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong,
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. And then that lady, I forgot her name. It wasn't Trish, Barb, or something like that, where she was wasted, and just fell out of the hot tub and just banged her head on the side of it.
Yeah. That was one of the best things I've ever seen on this show. Just watching a person get what they deserve, you know?
Yeah, she was awful. So Fraser's like, yes, I'm finally happy to have a group on board that knows how to enjoy themselves politely. So then like some Succession music plays. It's like very serious and people are cleaning. And Kyle's like, oh, we're in trouble, Betty. And he's like, yeah, thanks, mate. Oh, I know. I see a vagina and breasts. Don't really pay attention to anything else attached. And I know I'm going to have a halfie for the rest of this trip.
And Ben really keeps trying to get Sunny mad, but she's not letting it work. I mean, I really like it. I mean, she's kind of it's like she's she's kind of learned, I don't want to say manipulating, but like she's learned his game, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to give him what he wants and be angry. Now I'm going to like give toxic positivity. I don't know why I'm saying you know what I mean, right? But then I'm like, who's winning here? He's still winning. Like, you can change the attitude, but you're still giving him exactly what he wants. I don't know. It's making me crazy. I don't like it. So he's pushing it. And so she just goes, okay, guys, okay, enough. And Dylan's like, what happened? And she's like, okay. And then we see a clip of them being like, girls are coming. Daisy, get the rolling pin. And she's like, guys, you've said it like 20 times. And she goes, but I'm fine. I'm fine. And Ben's like, I know what I'm fine means. That means something's wrong, but I want you to guess what it is without me telling you. That's what I'm fine means. Women. I've no idea what you're talking about. Women's dictionary. It's what it is.
Why did I look at me. How did I wind up in this situation again with women and the way they use words? It's wild. You know what? I think I've had too much. So then Sunny says, you know what? If I choose to ignore the red flags, that's on me. I'm like, you know what? I love that mentality. She's like, I'm ignoring it because I'm horny. I do think that's a healthy mentality, oddly enough. But then the problem is, I think that she's how do I say it? I'm not trying to like, I'm not worried about offending anyone. I'm just trying to make it so that way my point makes any sense. It's like, she's acting like she's ignoring the red flags and like, whatever, just going to have fun. But like, you aren't ignoring the red flag, which is that you can't just have fun with this person because you're going to get attached.
Well, maybe she can. Some people can do that, you know? I can. I mean, I think that's part of gay culture. I don't know. Madison can. I think that there are a lot of people who can do it. From what we've seen, she can't do it. But the way she's phrasing it, how she's just like recognizing it, like, okay, well, I was thinking this was a thing, but now it's not a thing, and I can just have fun. Fine, I'll just fuck the guy. And if there's red flags, then it's on me. I mean, I really liked this. I was like, you go, girl. But at the same time, I'm like, if you can really do it, then you go, girl. But if you're really thinking maybe this is the way to get him to really like me, then no, don't do that. But if you can really just fuck him, then go for it. Because I hope that she knows that at the end of the day, she's only banging this guy because he's her only option on a boat. I hope that it's the same thing with the guys where she's only this excited about someone because she's on a boat. She's got boat-colored glasses on because obviously she can do a zillion times better than this. You know?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that she's acting like she's ignoring the red flags or whatever, but like it's like when she says like, I'm starting to see who Ben really is, but there's chemistry there. Like, there is no chemistry there. There's just proximity. And so the fact that she can't even recognize that is still gonna like lead her down the wrong path.
Well, proximity is chemistry sometimes. Because I would definitely fuck a homelier person that was closer to me than a hot person that was far from me. That's just how it is. So sometimes proximity sometimes it's just whatever's there. You know, you eat what you see. I always learned that in Weight Watchers as a kid. If you leave something on the counter, you're going to eat it, no matter what it is. If it's peanut M&Ms, you're going to eat that. If it's a banana, it's going to be that. You know,
an onion,
put the banana there. if it's a penis, you're probably going to jump on that. So
Yeah.
be careful what you have on your kitchen counters. Don't put bends on your kitchen counter.
Don't. Well, specifically that Ben.
Yeah,
So then,
not all bends, obviously. I mean, I wouldn't put you on my. This is a family show band. Okay? We're like the. We're like
a
the dad.
family.
We're a family.
We are a family. So it's time to leave. So leaving the dock and everything, and Ben is, Ben
Gross.
tells the crew to go check the umbrellas and stuff, and Kyle's like, "Hey, Dylan, go talk to him." So Dylan goes over and starts like flirting with the girls in whatever his weird way is. They're like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Dylan," and he's like, "Hi. How are you enjoying it here on the STD?" They're like, "STD, Saint David." They're like, "Oh, like
He
way to
said
go."
STD. That's funny. He said STD, sister. He said STD. Just like it's like a slow wash of very uninterested laughter that ripples
I
across
know.
the four daughters.
Hey, may I offer you any of you towels so that we can wipe off some extra calories from your glasses?
So then Chef and Fraser are talking. Fraser goes into the galley and he's like, "Have you got lunch? Stupid." And the chef's like, "I'm going to just do one sushi roll, mate." And he's like, "Well, I'm going to show you what I've got for plates. Here are your choices. A rectangle or a square? Which would you prefer?" And he's like, "I don't want to plate any of this, actually." He goes, "Well, I think it would be better plated." Well, fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. That's what you should get a rolling pin to the head. I'm just going to keep bringing up rolling pins. You should get a rolling pin to the head. Get out.
Yeah. He's like, "Well, I've got a lot to do. It's timing. Sorry." So then Fraser was like, "Anytime I offer to help, I feel like Chef Nick isn't working side by side, and I want it. I feel like a lot of fuck yous." Okay, you know what? Rejecting a rectangular plate is not rejecting you wholly as a person. He just was like, "I don't want that plate. Let's just put it all. I want to make it as a big sushi display." Which actually, I think in this situation, I am fully with the chef, because I think getting like a little rectangle plate with 6 like hand or cut pieces on it feels a little sad in the context of a super yacht. I think if I saw a big mound of sushi in the middle of the table, I'd be like, "Ooh, luxury, decadence."
Yeah, and isn't this for the beach picnic? This is for
It's
the
for the
beach
beach.
picnic anyway, right? So yeah, so it's not crazy to do something like that. And so the chef's like, "Can I get a Red Bull?" I guess trying to assert his power. So Fraser's like, "You fucking goddamn it, I hate you. I hope you choke on it. Here's your Red Bull." He goes, "I said 2, mate." He's like, "Oh God, 2, you'll pass out." God willing, motherfucker. Choke.
By the way, against the chef, if I went to the beach picnic and all I received were 6 pieces of sushi, I would be like, "This is not enough. I need
But
I need at
also know
least
your
12, if not
audience.
18."
You've got extremely
I know.
thin, well manicured people from Newport.
You're right. One piece
It's like
of sushi each.
you can tell he's been doing this 20 years because he knows,
So the anchor goes down. "Great job, Sonny." And Paris and Fraser are like talking, and Paris asks if they'll be plating on the beach, and Fraser says, "Yes, there will be plating on the beach," which is
Little
fuckery.
asshole. He's such an underminer. I can't believe it. And he's also putting this girl right into the path of danger. It's not cool.
Yeah. So now the dad wants to have a dad moment. So he's like, "Can I get a tour of the boat?" So captain's showing him around. He's like, "Yeah, come on over here. Here's the control room. Here's 3 levels, 1850 a side, horsepower, big boy, all that kind of good stuff. How many levels are on your boat?" 1. "Oh, well, that's all right."
It's so sad. There's nothing to feel bad about, Every man cries himself to sleep some nights. Just remember that, friend. Have you ever been chased by some holy pirates? No. Oh, so your life hasn't got much adventure, but you've got a nice family, mate. That's nice. Have you ever been stuck working on as a roofer while you waited for your wife to forgive you enough to see your daughter? No? All right, well, you don't really have the same gratefulness that some of us have for what they've got in life, but good for you, mate. Good for you.
"Hey, I'm sure your boat looks like a mega yacht in whatever fictional beach town you live in. Newport, never heard of it."
Have you ever heard of port? That's a good
If you
one.
ever, another question. Have you ever been chased by Somali pirates, but it turns out they were just people in a rowboat just wanting to sell you fish? Because that happens all the time to me. Actually, do you know that's like a big ploy with the pirates? I learned this because of North Sea TikTok. Because North Sea TikTok started to then turn into like pirate TikTok. So a lot of times the pirates show up in little rowboats and they pretend like they're just like merchants. Because there'll be TikToks that'll be like, if you ever see a rowboat on the ocean, this is why a captain will freak out. A lot of times, one thing you may not know, a lot of times people pretend like they're just merchants trying to sell you fish, but in fact they're pirates, and you see these like little rowboats and people pull out their machine guns and stuff. It's also wild to think about that like a person on a little rowboat could take over an entire cruise ship. Food for thought.
Hey, man, the strongest wins. The strongest personality wins, because a lot of times it's like people who rob you with a finger in their jacket, where they're like, I got a gun. And if they're believable, you're like, here's all my money, and you pee on the floor a little bit, because that's what you've learned to do in movies, and you're not a wuss at all. And that's how it is. And I think on the little rowboats, they can overtake you, because they may have a tiny boat, but mentally they've got the dick that would float a Titanic's worth of people across an ocean.
Well, let me tell you something. If a pirate ever tried to come on my boat, I would say, Arctic Captain Benim, which means I am the captain now.
If anybody ever tried to come on my boat, I'd be like, my dad does not like people coming on boats. I'm telling you that right now.
If anyone tried to come on my boat, I'd be like, good, I need to be in Laguna Beach anyway in like 5 minutes, so I'll just get off.
So Paris and Ben are talking. Oh, wait. So the dad has just had the tour, right? So they go to the daughters, and he's like, hey, kids, we just went to the engine room. 30,000 gallons of fuel. And one of the daughters goes, wow, Dad, I can't even imagine how much fuel that is.
Here's a hint. It's 30,000 gallons worth.
I don't know why I thought it was so funny. It's just how she said it made me laugh so hard. Wow. I can't even. She's like, how do I make this sound different than the last time he was so fucking impressed with the gas tank? Because it's happened 30 times.
It is wild, by the way. 30,000. This boat has 30,000 gallons of fuel in it at any given moment. Like that is. Oh.
Well, let's not forget to stop and talk about conservation for half an episode.
It did make me feel pretty bad for those oceans. I was like, wow, we are not doing right by this planet.
I know. We're like, why are the oceans so mad at us?
Yeah. Why are those orcas sinking yachts? Because
no shit, orcas, right?
Now I get it. I get why the orcas are doing that.
So doesn't mean we approve of that, orcas. Change your behavior.
Orcas, violence is not the answer.
Orcas,
okay?
All
right?
Orcas.
Use proper channels. And that's a pun, because you guys are seafaring.
So now the guests head on the tender with Dylan for beach day. And the captain is doing a deck check. Deck check with Sonny, or Dick Chick. He's doing a deck check with Dick Chick. And Sonny's like, yeah, I think Captain Carey's a little bit militant. He does not cut corners. And then we see him crawling all over the furniture. He's like, I don't like zippers on pillows showing. Listen, one thing I don't like seeing pillows enjoying is an adventure. Pillows are working, zippers down.
Hands up, zippers down. So
sorry, I got really bored after I left Top Chef. They wouldn't let me back in.
Hi, I'm Padma Lakshmi, and I'm your new guest on your yacht, where I'll be having a comedy show. Okay, knock, knock. Who's there? Not you, because you're too poor. Who are you anyway? Okay, knock, knock. Who's here? People with the James Beard Award nomination. Is that any of you? No, sorry. I guess you'll never see the inside of my knock, knock house. Bye.
So picnic time. So Paris and Barbie are serving, and the chef is now heading over on his own tender, and he turns to Fraser and he goes, do I look all right? And Fraser's like, you look amazing, chef. Don't you worry. Get over there. You're about to look like a total asshole. I've already set Paris up to argue with you in front of guests. Enjoy yourself, handsome.
Chef, you look absolutely amazing. I'm sure Betty will be so horny when she sees you walk back into your rock house of yours.
So now the family is we get to see a peek into their lives. They're having a conversation on the beach. And one of the daughters is like, look at those palm trees. did you know that more people die of falling coconuts than they do of sharks? And the mom goes, oh my God, well, who stands under a palm tree? And like, Mom, lots of people do. We live in California.
Also, you're actively sitting under 3 palm trees right now. And she goes, our palm trees don't produce coconuts, sweetie. This is why she didn't get into Yale or community college. And the daughter's like, why? Why don't they produce the coconuts?
Get into an actual coconut.
They rejected her just from Sam Goody. So the daughter's like, why? Why don't ours produce coconuts? And the other one goes, because they're hybrids. The coconuts are hybrids? No, the trees are hybrids. So you can drive a tree. Can the tree go into the carpool lane? No, it's not a hybrid car, you dummy.
When are they moving their line to plugins?
So I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
My question is, why do sharks fall out of trees? No one said sharks fall out of trees. Well, you said more people die of falling coconuts than sharks. Well, the sharks aren't falling too.
No, we shoot people with sharks, honey. Jeez. Anyway, we don't want coconuts because coconuts kill so many people. Am I right, girls? And they're like, God, Mom's stupid. I was like, actually, your mom's hilarious, and I think we all need to celebrate her. Can I get some more mom love?
She is just, you know what? She's just trying to find the fastest path out of the conversation. I don't know. We don't have coconuts in Southern California because they'll just kill you, and so we've genetically modified our trees to be more safe. I don't know. Just shut up already. I can't wait to have sushi.
So then the chef arrives and sees like the little, cocktail table they've set up for him. And he's like, oh, this is my fucking kitchen. Right, Fred. And so he's laughing. And Paris goes, so should I just put the food here on your table? And he's like, no, the dog will have it there, not there. So he starts moving it over. And she goes, no, not on the bar. All right, this is my bar area. And I don't want raw food here. And
so
he's like,
this isn't raw. It's cooked. She goes, oh well, it's okay, cooked, but like I still don't want like cooked food. No, just put it over there. Put the dog that has the boner that's on the sand over there.
He's like, okay, whatever you want. She goes, thank you. And he's like, all right. And now you got to let people who micromanage think they're in charge. But I've been doing this a long time. 3 stripes, 1 stripe. 3 stripes, 1 stripe. And he's about to lose it. But I have to say, Fraser has created a monster. The fact that we're siding with anybody over this chef was hired. He was literally cast to be the biggest pig on TV, and we're on his side. This is sad.
Yeah. Also, you can tell this is someone who's worked long enough that he's like, oh, here we go again, another micromanaging underling. It's fine. I don't care enough. I'm just making sushi. I just, you sort of like when you just know, like, honestly, talk about hills that are not worth dying over is like where to put the plate of ingredients. So he's like, whatever, do what it takes to get to the next meal.
Yeah, he's saying that, but he's getting so mad. I mean, he is getting so red-faced and mad. So he's like, okay, she says, what are we having? He says, sushi and salad. And she says, well, are you going to plate it? Because I don't want to have to walk around with the tray for 10 minutes, asking people what they want over and over again, and then calling me back to, wow.
Well, that's your job, though. I hate to break it to you.
Oh, my God.
You're literally a server. I mean,
and I love Paris. This is making me crazy. I feel like they're doing this on purpose just to fuck with the audience.
Well, I think the reason why she's sort of having this attitude right now is because Fraser said, like, be on top of this guy. Like, he's going to try to, like, take the easy way out, and you have to be on top of him. So I think she's like, I'm going to say this to make sure that he stays in line, because that's what her directive was. And he's like, well, if I would have known that, I would have done it straight away, but it is what it is. So he plates it on the rectangle plates, by the way, with a little salad. And Paris says,
fucking undermining.
Yeah, and so Paris is like, Fraser told me to hold plate on the beach. It's going to be plated, so that's what we're going to fucking do.
So he's like, I'm leaving. I got to get back. And so he serves the sushi and goes. And because she tells him she won't let him get the dessert ready. He has creme brulee. And she's like, no, we haven't even served mains yet. Like, what are you doing? I was like, oh my gosh. Well, she has obviously not been schooled yet. Like she is at the end of this episode.
Right. But she's like,
wow.
Well, and she's like, no, actually, it's not that he's like, I have to get back. He's like, he starts working on the desserts, I guess, because he wants to get back. And she's like, well, we haven't done mines yet, so I'll hold back on desserts. And so he's like, whatever. If Paris wants to take over, she fucking can't, because she even says, like, I can do this. Don't worry. Because he says, I've got to go back And that's why I'm doing this now. She goes, well, if it's just like torching the top of it, I can do that. So that's why he's like, you know what? If she wants to take over, she can. I don't want to have an argument in front of the guests.
Yeah. So then, and he's like, I don't have time for this fucking shit. So he leaves. And then she's just complaining. She's like, oh, he wants to do family style. I'm sorry, maybe the sizzler.
I was surprised she knew about Sizzler. I didn't know Sizzler had like made it out of America.
Oh, I'm so proud of them. God, guys, we did it. So then Zandy calls her brother and has like a moment and like giving him shit for his mustache. And we find out about her. And she had to shelter her brother because her parents were always fighting. And so when they fought, they would like watch The Simpsons together and Friends. There's a lot of fighting.
That was sad.
It was
That was really sad. By the way, speaking of Sizzler, etc., when I mentioned Sizzler, it made me think about how so many Sizzlers have closed, and I have to share some tragic news, which is that it came out today that Red Lobster is closing a huge number of their stores. They are almost all of them are going away, and I just want to say I'm really distraught about this.
We're going through that moment right now. You know, a lot of Applebee's closed, I heard. So that's a thing. Things are just, good old standbys or buys. They're not even stands anymore. They're just buys. Goodbye.
I can't have Red Lobster go away. I cannot have
Well,
that.
then you need to support them more, Ben, because you go once every year and now they're dead. So, you know what?
Well, maybe if they open one closer.
Should have fed it more.
They need to open one closer to Hollywood, California. Like, you have to go so far to find a Red Lobster. It's very frustrating.
Cheddar biscuits are outlawed in West Hollywood, sir. So
I know.
Are you going to just change the entire law system? Okay.
I know. There used to be a Red Lobster on La Cienega in Wilshire. Fun fact.
And look what happened. It was firebombed because
It
the
turned into a bank. The people of Beverly Hills were like, we are not going to have this here. So they turned it into a literal bank.
Put the bank in. I want cheddar dollars. I want cheddar Benjamins. That's what I want. So she does the so she's doing
Zandy
these
has
creme
a tough
brulees.
childhood.
Yes, Andy. Yeah. I mean, look, that's none of this was great. But when my parents fought, I would watch my parents, not the TV. I was like, this is like live theater. I love it. It's like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, So the kids are talking. Okay, so one of the kids, this family is cracking me up. One of the kids goes, yeah, I wasn't really a fan of when we had bear. And the dad goes, when did we have bear? It's just Sweden, Dad.
Oh, Ronnie, I forgot to tell you. I made a reservation at an all-bear restaurant this week for dinner for us.
Is that a thing? What are you
I
talking
know,
about?
you know what I love? I love that.
Can't tell if you're
I
kidding.
can't tell if you're joking. Of course not. We're not going to a bear restaurant. You're like, wait, are we eating bear for dinner?
Well, I didn't know if they served bears or if it was like gay enough that they only cater to bears. It's like big
could be
hairy
both.
guys.
Yeah, this family, they did not like bear. The Yelp reviews are in, and bear got 2 stars. Swedish bear got 2 stars from these girls.
So they ate bear. That's what they're talking about. Is that
Wait,
what
what
you're
did you
saying?
mean? What did you think it was?
I thought they were. I didn't know what it meant. I thought they were saying I wasn't a fan of when we had bear, like meaning a pet. Like,
Oh, a
remember
pet
that
named
dog bear? I didn't like it. And then the dad was like, when was that? And they were like, in Sweden, Dad. Like maybe they lived in
When
Sweden.
we had a Sweden. Remember
They
when we had
ate
a
bear?
Yeah, they ate bear.
Oh, bears are tough. Are they tough meat, do you think?
I
don't
imagine.
know.
I feel like
I
bear
would be
meat's like
afraid
not
of it.
amazing. I'm sure it's fine. It's probably
I
just
haven't
not
heard
amazing.
a lot about bear meat. That's
You would
for
think it
sure.
would be. I feel like maybe the reason why bear is not like farmed a lot is like, or like we don't eat a lot of bear is because it's probably so dangerous. Like,
That's terrifying. Who wants to eat that? Who
you
wants
can't
to
keep
eat a
bears
horse
in
show?
captivity. You can
Yeah, you
keep
don't eat
cows in
sharks.
captivity.
We don't eat things that want to eat us back, right? Like we don't eat sharks, but people
mean,
do
they're-
eat sharks. I just mean they're
shark
not like
suit.
popular to eat.
Do we eat things that want to eat us back? I'm sure there's some of the fish might want to eat us back. I'm sure some of the fish would bite us. Everything would bite us, really, to be honest.
Yeah, everybody hates us. So literally other humans. I mean, we're Americans, so literally everybody wants to bite us. Okay, so
Chickens.
we're gonna find out next week. Can't wait. Okay, so Paris is like I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, creme brulees. Bears, eating bears. Okay, so the chef returns to the boat, and the captain's like, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. Oh, I smell the blood of an Englishman." Thought I was going to say something in Turkish, didn't you? I didn't go on the beach. I didn't go on the beach. Listen, here's what I did over here. I went up to this boat's equivalent of Somali pirates, pillows with their zippers up, and I said, get your fucking zippers down before I take out a big lighter, start you in fire, and throw you to the sharks. Got it?
So the chef is like, well, I thought it was going to be a spread, but I got there in Paris, being Paris, so I just let her do however she wanted it. So Kara's like, so Paris changed it. Yeah, she changed it. And at the end of the day, it's on me. If they complain, it's me. That's in the shit, not her. So anyway, if you're done, I feel like that was an ample casual throwing her under the bus, and I'm just going to take a dump in the head.
Well, he's got 3 stripes. If he comes to the beach, they need to adapt to him, not the other way around. And so the chef's like, well, if there's bad feedback, it's because of her. All right? Now, I wanted to get crack on for tonight. And he's like, oh, I get it. My brother in adventure. Oh, I get it. So, cut to Barbie making drinks, and she goes, we need to put fizz in these drinks because white girls love fizzy things.
Dylan goes, oh, white girls love a fizz, baby. So then the chef is, he's like, well, these guests want fancy suppers. Guess what? They're going to get cured wahoo, grilled octopus, nice colors. Maybe I'll reach out to my friend, the dinosaur supplier, get a half rib of saber-toothed tiger, pull out all the stops.
So then Sonny and Ben are flirting, and she's like, you're hot. And he goes, well, why am I hot? She goes, me? Why me? I'm just so happy. Look how happy I am with you flirting with everybody right in front of my face. Isn't this fun? Let's make out. So they make out. And he's like, yeah, Sonny and I from a week ago is totally different from the Sonny and I today. I think the space is working in our favor. I really like this girl. Could this be the magic formula? Yeah. She's letting you do whatever you fucking want to.
Yeah. The magic formula is that you fuck with her and you do something humiliating, like post how much you miss your ex on Instagram, make her feel crazy, and then you get some space, and then she comes crawling back. So the answer is, I guess that is the magic formula.
Well, listen. Whatever works for you two crazy kids. They go into the bathroom and bang. So then Paris and Fraser are talking. So she comes back and she's like, you didn't come to the beach, bitch. And he's like, was it that bad? Tell me, how did he do? I gave him 2 Red Bulls. Did he have a heart attack? I was praying for it this whole time.
And she goes, it was embarrassing. He left and he wanted us to go around and serve it. And all of a sudden, we're doing it on plates. And then he left. So I had to do everything. Is this like some kind of sick joke? I'm like, you had to do everything because you said, you go back, I can prepare the desserts. You can go. And now she's like, oh, I had to do everything.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, God, no, it's not a joke. Unfortunately. So now the captain and Fraser are having dinner together in the mess. And he's like, so was there some confusion on the beach today? How lunch was being presented? And he's like, issues. Nope, no dramas, no tragedies. And that's all that matters. All I really care about are the guests. The very, very wealthy family of guests. That's all I care about. If they're happy, I'm happy. And he's like, Fraser's being coy with me. He's not telling me everything. I'm a little concerned.
Or as they say in Turkey, biraz endişeliyim. Concerned, a little concerned. So he's like, Fraser's like, if they're happy, I'm happy. It's like, all right, well, we're going to deal with this later. So now everyone's getting ready for dinner, and they're setting up a casino night and everything, and the fish is coming out and everything. Everything looks like really good. And the mom is like, so, Captain, today, lunch on the beach, we had 4 meats. What an amazing chef. Also, my daughter narrowly escaped death when a coconut almost hit her on her head. And we're like, next time, Tree, try better next time. I'm just joking, sweetie.
It was a hybrid coconut. No, honey, the trees are hybrids. Just be quiet, please. So he's plating the grilled octopus, and he does like a purple smear of something. I don't know what it was, but it's very pretty. And I think he's doing it to try and please Fraser in fucking Paris, because he's like making it colorful, and I don't know. He seems to be making some kind of effort here. And I mean, I think his food has all looked decent, actually, but it
Yeah.
looks really pretty. So Paris and Fraser are looking at it like, can you believe this disgusting, non-artful food? And Paris goes, it definitely needs a drizzle. Oh, God, I can't. I'm like about to freak out for him. I want to hate the
Yes.
chef, not you. Please stop messing with my brain.
He's like, I don't have the time or the patience right now for Paris's shit, and it feels like she's trying to take control of the galley. It's not her job. She's like, do a little green drizzle for me. Oh, can we have a little drizzle, please? Come on, a little extra drizzle, please. Little drizzle, a little dottery in the sides, a little drizzle. So he's like, if the garnish doesn't make sense with the dish, it's going to look weird. I don't tell you how to scrub toilets. At the end of the day, stick to that. So
Now you remember when this happened on Below Deck Down Under, when Boston Chef told Aisha this, pretty
Philly
much
Chef,
the same
yeah.
thing. Philly Chef, I wanted to murder him. In this case, I'm like, okay, well, I'm kind of on your side this time, and I hate that.
I am more on his side, but I still don't love when chefs say this. Like, I don't tell you how to scrub toilets because I do think it's actually so rude to do it, even when you're in the right. But he does do the
but
drizzle.
He's being pushed,
Yeah.
and he's not saying it to her. You know what I mean? That other chef was saying it to Aisha. He was like, your job is shit. Where this guy is like trying to be nice to her face and then saying it all behind her back on the camera to stay professional, I guess. Now, we've already seen him be a total pig with her last week when he was like, "You're my third, not, I guess
You're
the
my
third
third
favorite
favorite
was
stew."
or like, don't be careful with that
three.
mayonnaise. You don't want to get fat or whatever that
Right.
was.
Don't
So,
blame. Don't. You only have yourself to blame.
that's
So
just a reminder, basically, that even terrible people can be right occasionally, and you don't have to get a
broken
foam finger to
clock.
celebrate them. You know what I mean?
a broken clock is right twice a day. Well, here's the thing: is that he ultimately does the green drizzle, and it looks fine. Honestly, I really didn't. I was ready to be like, ugh, it looks so garish. It actually looks nice. And then I'm like, really? They were really arguing over this. Like, it would have looked fine without it. It looked fine with it. I couldn't even tell if I liked it more or less, but I just couldn't believe they were having a whole fight over it ultimately.
Well, it's just the overstepping and the constant trying to undermine him for no reason and fucking with him. You know, It's like, what do you? It's not really about the green. It's that the stuff never needed the garnish in the first place. It's all from
Right.
Fraser's crazy little head because he needs to assert some fucking power. It's just weird.
Yeah. I think that like Nick is just sort of the guy that like in Fraser's past, Fraser's been tormented by guys like Nick, or he just resents people like Nick. So as soon as he sees Nick, he profiles him into a certain category and is already like walls are up. Walls are up.
I think
So
he's just that kind of guy who needs conflict constantly at work to make him feel good, like he's good at his job. If he's just that kind of person who's always complaining about how terrible other people are at their job because it elevates him in some way. He's done it with an employee. He's never had a moment on this show where he hasn't been talking like this about somebody else. It's always somebody else sucks at their job and they're not listening to me, and they would be so much better if they just listened to me. It's a big fault if you're going to be a leader. He's not great at it, but I kind of do, just because I'm shitting on him constantly, I do kind of like in a way that we're watching someone get trained, because Captain Carey's pretty good at training him. Like, he tells him flat out what he's missing. And so maybe he'll get really good at it eventually, But right now,
maybe, but
Yikes!
next season I demand Faye to come back.
No,
Let's
he's
be
back for
honest.
next season.
Already?
Yeah.
Why can we not get Faye again? Why is it so
Faye had a
I know
baby. She was out of
I know,
here.
but like the baby's gonna be like 1.5. So basically like it's
You
independent.
can squeegee now. This baby has learned to squeegee.
Babies, if you're a baby, put your hair up, please. So
I will
If you're-
only come back on this boat if I can have my model photographer come with me. His name is Baby. Baby?
baby, before you go on service, baby, you need to have a full face of makeup and your hair's up. Thank you. It's called service.
Baby, would it kill you to just have a little eyeliner on?
Captain Gary, I'd be pleased to be your first stew again, but you'll have to understand that my baby will have to be on board as well. Thank you.
Huge opportunity missed. I need Faye in my life constantly. I even love following her on Facebook.
It's like, look
She
at me.
is-
I have a baby.
Like, I love it.
No, I think that like Faye and Kate Chastain can babysit for each other. So Kate can Faye just drops off her baby with Kate. Kate's got 2 babies now to take care of, and then Faye does her thing, and then Faye can take care of Kate's baby while Kate goes off on. I mean, look, Kate was able to do the traders. Faye can do below deck. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with you.
So whoever was babysitting for Kate, babysit for Faye. I demand
Whoever needs to hear this, listen up. Babies don't know you. Okay? Think of your first memory. I was at least 2 or 3. I was sitting on an ironing board. My mom was chain smoking and talking on a corded orange phone or a corded yellow phone. I remember that. Sitting on an ironing board. That's my first memory. Do you think that that's like a memory of great mothering? No. Okay? Who sits their child on a fucking ironing board? Like, seriously. But you know what? I couldn't even resent her for it because I was only like 2 or 3. I mean, she could have done anything. She could have had me in a fucking washing machine before then, and I wouldn't know the difference. Go live your life, Bravo stars. Okay, drop that baby in the washing machine, put the baby on an ironing board, and go do a season. We need you back, Faye.
Strap the baby to a sea bob. Let it have fun out there on the waves while you go and serve mojitos. That's it.
Totally.
Bring back Faye.
Okay, so the chef is going to kill Paris and Fraser. He does drizzle with green, though, which is funny. Okay, so then the dad is like, so Captain Carey, because Captain Carey's having dinner with them. He's like, so we just went to Switzerland, and then we're here, obviously. Hi here. And then after this, we're going to go to Dublin, because we're going to be following one of our favorite rock bands. And the captain's like, see you groupies. He's like, this is a family crew, Captain. No, it means you follow bands around. Yeah. What will we do?
The mom's like, it's the young Dubliners. I know. It's awful, but my husband goes off to see them, and I stay back to have a quote-unquote massage, a.k.a. I meet up with Fritz, the tennis instructor. I don't have to tell you what happens next, especially not in front of these girls with coconuts falling on their heads.
I know they're not the most exciting band in the world, but they're the only band that shows any excitement when my husband talks about the capacity of gas tanks on boats. So,
well, I can either sit and listen to my husband drone on about fuel allowances on boats, or he can go off and see his band, and I can just read Time magazine quietly in bed and have a nice night.
So then Dylan is not only rapping, but he's rapping into his phone so he can save it later. He's rapping into his audio notes in his cabin because this is very serious music. So he's like, gonna take one of these guests into my room. Gonna be slick because I've got a big dick. Yeah. Not gonna say it's a little prick. Yeah.
I'm loath to say that he was freestyling because that implies some sort of style. It was like he's free out of styling.
Or that anybody would want it even if it's free.
Yeah. So it was more like pay out of styling, as in like you'd have to pay me to listen to that because I'm not going to listen to that for free. Mm-hmm. So now Sunny calls up her friend. She's like, oh, hello. And she's like,
what is that?
That's how she speaks to her friends in Quebec. Hello, no.
Yeah, she's like, oh my God, I'm so happy I met this guy. And then at first I was like, does he like me? And now I'm like, of course he doesn't like me, just wants to fuck me. It's so great. I'm having the best time.
Like in the beginning, I was like in my feelings, but he like forced me to take a step back. Like we're not together, we're having fun. And I realized like, Sonny, you're just like a stupid girl who had like emotions because like he was indicating that we were actually together. But he made me realize I was the stupid one in this situation. And once I realized I was stupid, then it was so much better for me.
For Christmas, I'm getting him a shirt that says I'm with stupid and it has an arrow pointing to me. I just need to always remember to be standing on that side of him.
I just feel like I feel like so much better now that Ben has taught me. He's really like so smart and insightful.
It's rough. It's a rough watch. So Paris and Fraser are watching the chef who's foaming plates. And of course, it starts splurting out because it needs a little gas canister thing. Because they're sitting there staring at him with dirty looks, like idiot. And she's like, you need more gas than that. See, it's running. Yeah, he fucking knows. Oh my God. I want to yell at you. And you're like my favorite new cast member of the year.
I always think of when we went to the Top Chef event and all the chefs had little booths out and we went to Kwame's booth. It was the first thing ever. It was like the first challenge ever. And we went to Kwame, sweet Kwame, and he had foam on his thing, and he like shook up the little foam thing, and he was trying to discharge it onto our things, and it wasn't working. And he was like so nervous and so like, oh my God. And I always remember him shaking that foam thing. and like nothing coming out correctly. And then he was like trying to fix it in front of us. And I always think about that, and I feel ever since then I've always felt so bad for chefs when they're trying to get the foam thing to work, it's not working, and people are just staring at them. Because I was like, that's what we did to Kwame. But you know what though? You're welcome, Kwame, because now you have the #1 restaurant in New York City as voted by the New York Times, and I think that you might not have had that grit had you not dealt with our judgment just staring you down. So you're welcome. We built you.
He has the #1 restaurant in New York.
Yeah, New York Times did their list of top restaurants in the city, and Kwame's restaurant is #1 for like the second year in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We did that, Ronnie. That's what we did.
You
He's
guys
like, I'll
see,
always
our
remember
judgment
what.
leads to it's every judgmental shitty thing we say is just a tiny little cobblestone on your road to success.
Yes, we are making you tougher. We are letting you get to where you need to go. So you're
We're
welcome,
here for
Kwame,
you.
and
Do my teeth
also
look
to
like,
Nick.
Implants today.
No, let's see.
I feel
Oh
like
my
I'm
god,
wearing dentures.
I raised my reading glasses up. I don't know why, and I'm like,
Let me get a good look at those with my teeth eyes.
they don't look like
Okay,
implants.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just caught I usually don't look at the video while we're recording because I start staring at myself and like get boners. So I have to stop. But yeah, I just caught myself and I was like, wow, why do I have Bravo teeth today? I didn't do anything to my teeth. Okay, what were you saying? Finished with Kwame splooging?
I was just saying, that's why I was like, Paris, meaning that he's just trying to foam these things, and Paris is like, oh, you need more gas in there. See, it's Ronnie. I was like, just let the man foam in peace.
You know, I mean, it's like it must be what it's like to be a porn star with people just standing around waiting for you to foam. It's like it's not working. Here's what you have to do to make it work. It's like, can I get some quiet on the set? Okay. So then, preference sheet meeting time. Wait, is it preference sheet? No, it's not. Where are we?
in the middle of the charter. No, so
We're
he's starting to mess up.
Never mind. I'm not gonna.
He's starting to mess up a lot
Okay.
because she's like, oh, I think like it's not, you need more gas, you need this, and like he's like dropping things, and she's just like he's like trying to concentrate, and she keeps saying things, and he's just getting more and more frustrated.
Yeah. So that's rough. Galley Paris ate. So okay. So now it's breakfast. Is it breakfast time now?
It's bedtime. No, it's not. So, stuff happens.
I'm sorry. I
We
got
cannot
lost
go to
in my
breakfast.
notes because I was staring at my teeth. No, that's not why. I switched note
Look
versions.
for foam.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Do a
Sonny
search
calls
for
her
foam.
friend. Foam on food. Okay. So Nick goes to his cabin and he's going crazy. So he just goes to his cabin and screams into a pillow. He's like, "Oh!" Which I cracked up. So this guy's an asshole, but he has been to therapy, probably to jail, because he's definitely learned how to take his anger out in a healthier way than throwing knives at people's head, which is what the Italian chef I used to work with in New York used to do to me when I fucked up, as he called me stupid putana.
So we then go to the captain. He's like upstairs, and he's like, well, I'm not looking forward to oh no, he's telling the guests, I'm not looking forward to tomorrow's docking. Let me tell you, it's gonna be windy. All right, everyone, enjoy your night.
We
Don't
could
be
all
terrified.
die tomorrow. Enjoy this squid on a purple smudge or something, because it could be your last meal tomorrow.
Better than beer, though, am I right? Imagine if your last meal was beer.
Tomorrow, the most terrifying show on television is coming here. Wind. And somewhere in Florida, Sandy's like, honey, did you set the timer for wind? Can't wait to watch that. It's supposed to be real good tomorrow.
Wait a second, I just pressed play. I thought it was the season premiere, but I'm just watching someone fiddling with the clock. Honey, did you DVR wind instead of wind?
Oh, God. It's a show about clocks. Not again. Too many channels.
The DVR doesn't understand the difference with those words.
All right, well, I'll just sit here and watch Wind, I guess. Hello, welcome to Wind. I hope everybody enjoys my new flamingo suit.
Oh, coming up, we are going to talk about Summer House Martha's Vineyard. We probably should mention that at the top of the show. So now the captain goes in. He tells chef, he's like, just so you know, good food, mate. The guests loved it. I loved it. Everyone loved it. Or actually, as they would say in Turkish. Da 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 da. Onu çok sevdim. I loved it so much.
So Nick is now just going crazy. He's just talking to himself. And he's like, where's my cuddle pillow? God, come here, cuddle pillow. Come here, cuddle pillow. And jumps into the bed and buries his face into the pillow. So then Dylan is by the hot tub. And the girls are like, oh, my God, maybe we should play Truth or Dare. Dylan, you want to play? He goes, Dare, Dare. Dare, dare, dare. There's a dare. I run dare with dare. I'm a rapper. And so she's like, okay, Dare, take off your shirt and do your best dance for us. And he does the most Dylan dance I've ever seen anybody Dylan. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like watching that white girl twerk every episode on that other season. It's bad.
Courtney. Yeah, he is. So he takes off his shirt. He's like, yeah, baby. Yeah, I'm sexy. I'm going to seduce a girl. So he's doing this thing. And then he takes water and he tries to do like a Magic Mike moment by pouring, like, takes his water bottle and tries to pour it on. He pours it on his chest. And he goes, yeah.
He literally does. He
squeaks.
started squealing.
He becomes
So he's like,
coquettish.
I've got one point on my mind, and it's saying, Dylan, if you're going to hook up with OK, number one, Kerry is going to skin your balls. Number two, it's a fireable offense. So I'm going to get Instagrams instead. Damn it. Girls, give me your Instagrams. So they get Instagram switches, and then he goes to bed like a good little boy.
Yeah, well, we knew he wasn't really going to make a move on anyone. So I just had a hunch. So then Dylan and Nick are in the cabin, and Nick is like, "Sid, how you doing? I'm having some bit of issues with Paris. It's her issues, not mine. If she doesn't like me, it's not my fault. She demands the power when she gets it." And Dylan's like, "Yeah, I see what you mean, bro. Love life, chillin', huh? Woo!" So I just
happy.
remember that water. Remember that water on my chest? It was so cold. I had a residual.
I'm coming up with the new rap. It goes, don't worry, be oh.
Here's a little song I wrote. Gonna sing it note by so it's called
So
water.
then, up in the bridge, we hear wind. Welcome to Wind. And Captain Carey's watching Wind on the TV, and he's going, oh, God, here it is. And Dylan is DMing Sarah, one of the daughters. He's like, sucks charter ends today. Can't wait to send you my new album. I did it on voice notes. Stand by.
It's called Standby, actually. He's like, sorry, we didn't get to hang more. I was going to show you all the secrets to washing calories off of ham. And she's like, yeah, come hang out with us in LA. Yeah, great. Maybe she's the reason why he wound up with Katie in Vanderpump Rules. He went to visit this girl. And then like somehow
LA.
like maybe she's friends with Katie or something like that. Like I still want someone to answer why Dylan was sitting next to Katie on Vanderpump Rules.
I feel like they probably just met at some Bravo thing, and she was like, let's hang out when you're in LA.
It's like, yeah, girl. So I can rap. I can rap at your emo night.
And that's the last time Katie would ask you to hang out. Rap one time. She'll be like, die. Okay, so now it's breakfast. And Paris is in there. And she takes orders. She gets some crepe orders, right? So she goes in there and she's like, crepes. He goes, I knew I should have prepped crepes earlier. And she's like, just make the crepes. So he starts making them. And she goes, oh, that pan's a little big. 8 inches. I'd go 7. I know crepes need to cook a little bit low and slow. And he's like, this is the proper pan for a crepe. She goes, I just, low and slow, because otherwise you get these little. Okay, now what are you doing? Who
Paris.
authorized this? What is wrong with her?
Who
It's
authorized this crepe commentary? Unless you have a podcast, you do not get to weigh in on the chef's crepes.
not to a chef, not to the chef. Who goes into while someone is working and is like, that's not how you cook. Like, that is literally crazy. I mean, the plate's okay. The garnish, not great. But this is nuts. I cannot believe he's staying calm through this.
I know. And he tells us she needs to back the fuck off. And she goes, butter with a bit of oil does wonders with crepes. Oh, okay. Come on, Paris.
Come on. So, breakfast. Okay, so they love the breakfast, whatever. Okay, so then it's going to be the craziest docking we've ever had. Everyone could die. Everyone watch out. Docking, wind, docking.
Wind,
Everyone's
wind,
fine.
wind. Everyone's
fine. It was
They
great.
hyped up this win. I mean, they were hyping up this win from last night. They hyped up this docking so more than the usual one. Well, actually, no, they always hype up the docking in a different way. It's like, oh, this docking's gonna be difficult. There's a badge somewhere in the harbor, and we saw a seagull flying nearby. We don't want to hear seagulls, so we have to get somewhere between the badge and the seagull. And I don't know if we're gonna do it because the wind's a little wet, it's a little windy, and you just go, oh, we actually docked. We actually docked. And then
We're
my
fine.
explanation.
Everything's
We're
fine. We did
We're
it.
fine. We did it.
Okay, so now is tip time, and they're like, the food was divine. My daughter learned how coconuts work. So that was fun. Thanks, guys. And we love you. Please come stay with us. And so Barbie's like, oh my God, I feel like my parents just left. And they were disappointed. I'm not going to lie. It hurt. But you know what? The most important thing is I'm being me, and I'm a person who fucks poor people occasionally. So suck it, Dad.
Well, now it's time for a tip meeting. So they all gather. It's like, all right, everyone, guys, excellent job. We got one chatter left. No reason for sore heads. We got 25 grand, guys. Oh, wow. Hey, ain't a free place to stay in California. Am I right, Dylan? Am I right? Yeah, sounds good to me.
And tonight, everybody's going to go bowling. Which is random, but sounds
Yeah.
fun, So, now...
It's so funny to me because I know bowling is an international sport. It must be an international sport. But I just think of it as being so American. Not like it's ours. It just feels very American. Just the way the shirts you wear, the shoes you wear. It just feels like something that people outside of America would be like disgusting, So it's funny to me that it's just funny to see bowling outside of America. It's exactly the same. Just the context of it is just amusing to me.
Well, the fashion is definitely American.
Bowling shirts, those shoes, everything about it.
Yeah, it really is. Why isn't bowling an Olympic sport?
That's a great question, actually.
Well,
I think it
what
should
came
totally
up.
be an Olympic sport.
I'm
Why is
surprised
it
it's not actually?
How is
lack
it
of
that
appeal to
rhythmic
younger demographics, unequal playing conditions, unsuccessful IOC voting, absence from final shortlists, and no Paralympic presence?
But it's funny because curling is a sport, but not bowling, and curling kind of feels like ice bowling to some degree.
Yeah, I don't know. What can I tell you? Okay, I skip them every time they're on.
You can tell me a
I
lot,
can tell you that much
actually.
about the Olympics. Do not care about them. So then, but congratulations to everybody who does things. Okay, so Paris gets called to the bridge, and Fraser goes, "Oh my God, please don't get fired. We need you." Well, if she does, it's your fucking fault, you ass.
Yeah.
So she goes up there, and he's like, "Good day. Have a seat. I want to have a chat with you. I want to talk about the beach today." And she's like,
All right, so he's got 3 stripes, you've got 1, and my Akinita has 5 penises. All right, let's not count everything. If he comes to the
"Not
beach,
sexy time. All right. We're
I
at
also think
work."
and let's not forget, I think it's pronounced Echidna, not Akinita. So if he comes to the beach and says, this is the way I want to do it, it's not your place to argue with him about it.
And she's like, "Well, when we're doing plates and organising for the beach before I go, I'm being told by the chief stew this is how we're plating. So I assume that that's been discussed with the chef. And, well, listen, we've all been butting heads with him, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating."
It's frustrating because he just has that real blocky head. So when you butt heads with him, it really hurts. So he's like, well, he's the chef. In between him and the chief stew, if they want to battle that out, that's fine. Not the rest of the time. So you guys are not to be dragged into what's going on between them. So stay professional. Got it? It's like, got it. All right, now go back to being the gay icon that you are.
Please. Let's get back to hating the straight guy. All right, let's get back to hating the sexist straight guy. That would be great now.
The gays want to support you right now, and they're having trouble. So
The gays have already put your poster up in all of their bedrooms. All right.
listen, I just got an invitation that you are the honorary marshal of the West Hollywood Gay Pride celebration this year, but I can't give it to you in all honesty until you figure things out with the chef. Thank you very much.
Travel plans have already been made for you for the annual Crape Awards, somewhere called New York City. So please get it together. So Captain calls Fraser a Nick now over the radio. And Ben, gossip ass Ben is like, "Oh, I think something's happened. That everyone's getting called in there."
We really figured that one out. So they come up, And he's like, all right, well, because I don't like calling out crew in front of crew, but what I do like is calling up crew in front of crew. Big difference there. All right, so everyone, there's a communication breakdown between departments, and I'm not having it. You two have got to work together, okay? He's got a job to do. I don't need to tell him how to do his job. You know what I need? More adventure! This is not adventure.
You need to work it out. Are you willing to work together? And Nick's like, yeah, of course, of course. And Fraser's like, yes, sounds great. Can't wait to pour you a Red Bull.
Can't wait to pour you 2 Red Bulls. I mean, I would have saved one of those for the guests, but I guess chef always comes before guests. Isn't that what we've learned? So, yes, chefy, you shall have all the Red Bulls you should absolutely need.
And then this is what killed me with Fraser. So they walk out, and Fraser goes, well, I think what we should do first and foremost, before the charter, we'll get menus straight away done, and then we can go through every single meal and single plate, every single special plate, and I'll run all services. Like, he totally set up Paris to do that, and now he's setting himself up to be like, don't you want to work with me now that you've had this person in here bossing you around? Now you can work with me. I'll run everything. And he gets him to be like, good, thank you so much, Fraser.
And then Fraser tries to do like a
He's
fist bump.
such a little bitch.
I love the awkwardness of Fraser doing a fist bump. He's like, so I know that this is something that straight men appreciate, so here is my fists. Please be gentle with it as my wrists are 30% smaller than yours. Thank you.
So let's see. So they decide to get along. So now it's preference sheet meeting, and we find out that the new guest is a pediatric dentist from Tacoma Park, Maryland. They're gonna have some fun, guys, and they have a Reiki practitioner, and they want a Beyonce party. Get ready to blast off.
Yeah. So now they're all getting ready to go out, and some of them are dressing up sort of formally, like Nick puts on a tie, and most importantly, Kyle puts on a kilt. So Barbie sees it, and she's like, I like you a lot, but like the upper part. And he's like, oh, what's wrong with it? And she's like, and she tells us, I don't like the kilt. Like, I get it's a cultural thing, but he likes to show his thing, and I want to put some pants on him. What are you talking about? The kilt is amazing, first of all. It looks great. And it's also like a formal look, and like her dissing the formal look, I actually think it's like actually quite insensitive.
You know, at first I thought, wow, she's really going there against kilts. She's going to get in a lot of trouble. But then when we see what happens, she knows what's going to happen. She's like, he's wearing this kilt because he's not going to wear underwear, and then he can flash his dick at people all night. And I don't want to be with a fucking pervert flashing his dick at people all night.
So don't be with a pervert who's flashing his dick. That's it.
But she was right. And sure enough, they go bowling, and he gets shit-faced and starts flashing his dick at everybody, and she's mortified, and he won't stop it. And he loves that he's pissing her off with it. And then she's getting more and more pissed off with it, so he keeps doing it. And then she's like, but I'm really mad though, because like my dad was going to be so upset about this. And so he's like, I'm sorry then. I'm sorry, lass. And then they make up and make out anyway. But it was like a bunch of wiener drama. And I mean, I think you're right. Like, you can't date somebody that's like poor and flashing his dick all the time, and then be mad that you're dating somebody that's poor and flashing his dick all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But
like,
I don't think it's unreasonable to be like, can you not flash your dick tonight?
I don't think it's unreasonable, but like, again, if you decide that you want to date the person who's like the dick flasher, and then you decide to change them from dick flashing, especially when it's almost like a cultural dick flashing. I know that like wearing a kilt does not mean, I know it's not a cultural thing in Scotland to flash your dick, but it sounds like it kind of is in a certain way. And like, I don't know, I think this is on her, and I think she has to get over it, especially because the kilt's hot. Like, the kilt made him look a lot hotter, I thought. Like, that definitely like gave him like...
so are giant wieners. And he's also spreading that around. He's just like flapping his giant wiener at everybody, which I don't mind a penis flashing pervert. But you know who does? The law. They generally mind. And maybe Barbie does want to live with a kilt wearing pervy penis flasher, and maybe they'll find a deal by a school, and they won't be able to live there because he's going to be on the sex offenders registry if he keeps this behavior up in public places. You never know.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where she doesn't, I don't think she inherently cares about the kilt and the flashing. She cares about what her dad would say about it, because her dad would be like, that's that's rude behavior. Her dad would say what we said about him before when he was on FaceTime with the mother. Like, I can't believe he's so loose with his body language. You know, her dad would say the same thing. Like, well, that's just inappropriate. You should not be doing that in a public space. And she knows that, and it's stressing her out because she's already placing herself in a theoretical situation where she has to choose between her father and Kyle, and it's stressing her out. So she's just taking it out on Kyle. And you know what? I don't know. I think you're lucky to have a man with a kilt. I think the kilt is to me, the kilt is like a big value add. And I think that she should focus on how cool the kilt is and less about the flashing.
Yeah, I just wish there were multiple seasons with the same cast over and over sometimes, because I think that future plot lines would involve Barbie and Kyle coming up with ways to kill her father and get the inheritance so she can just do whatever the fuck she wants and stop worrying about it. You know what I mean? And I love a good parental murder story. I've always loved those on Lifetime. And that would be fun. Not saying in real life. I'm just saying stories.
Yeah.
Movies. not real. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for...
Oh, wait. No.
Oh, you're right.
No.
We have something else to do today.
No,
You're
the
correct.
show goes on because we didn't do this yesterday because we wound up talking about
Let me
New Jersey
put my
for
kilt
2
back on.
hours.
Just drop my kilt.
Let's come on, Ronnie. Let's flash America with our thoughts on Southern Charm. I mean, not Southern Charm.
Summer House,
Summer
Martha's
House.
Vineyard.
So we were going to talk about this with New Jersey, but we wound up talking. Our New Jersey episode was literally 2 hours long, where I don't know what we even talked about for 2 hours, but we did it. So, but we do want to talk about what happened with Summer House this week. I thought this episode was so funny. I really enjoyed this one, mainly because the center of it, the through line, was that Bria and Simon had a big fight over an inflatable flamingo outfit. So, for those who don't remember, Nick had this party that was more of a formal party / it was very much about like black fraternity, sorority, remembering a line brother who had died. And at the end of it, what's his face? Simon came downstairs in an inflatable flamingo costume that was really just not his place to wear. And so Bria, who's always excited to flip out anyway, she flipped out probably in one of her more, what's the right word? Like deserving flip outs? Like merited. One of her more merited flip outs.
Yeah. Because, it's just one of those guys. It's like, even if you say, please don't wear the flamingos. Okay, I won't wear a flamingo. You're not going to wear the flamingo suit, right? No, I'm not going to wear a flamingo. Okay, party. I'm in flamingo. I'm a flamingo. She's like, oh my God, why are you wearing the flamingo? Why can't I wear flamingo? Go take off the flamingo. Why? I don't have to take off flamingo. Go take off the fucking flamingo. No, I'm not taking off flamingo. Like, he's such a fucking...
Why do I have to take a flamingo? The flamingo is so funny, though. The best is actually the next day, or actually later that night when they are having their argument, and he speaks sort of in this calm German accent. He's like, but everyone likes the flamingo. What is wrong with the flamingo? You can just flip out at anyone, and I can't wear a flamingo. Bria, next time you see, if you go with Simon anywhere, next time you see his luggage and you see anything that is like inflatable in that luggage, just burn it right away before you can even put it on. Because like the fact that there even was an inflatable flamingo in the first place was your first danger sign.
It's very other Summer House. It's very like Kyle in a mullet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm man baby and I wear flamingo because hilarious. Of course I do. But she's trying to explain to him, like, this is a more sensitive event because it's all his fraternity brothers, and he's like the classy guy in the house. So he wants everything to be like super classy and high end, and you're coming down in a costume and making that. And he's talking about his friend who passed away, and but he won't get it. And I think he's just trying to be fun, like the fun guy at the party, and that's his way of ingratiating himself into the group. But whatever it is, wrong road, sir. You're on the wrong road.
He's like, I thought it was a pool party. And so he's like, but this is what you always do. You always flip out. You always flip out. Because she says, you know what? Like, if with your parties, I'm always on my best behavior, and the way you act at your parties is totally different. He's like, yeah, but at the last party you said I don't fuck with you, and you left in 5 minutes. How swiftly were you to leave? And she's like, that's because your friends were racist. He's like, what? He's like, oh, you don't see this? You always claim like you never see this, you never see that. And he's like, no. And she's like, yeah. And we find out that like he had a party, and like his sister-in-law or something like that said something like, "Oh, I didn't know that Simon was into indigenous people," or something like that. Something like so wildly offensive. I don't know how Bria is with this guy because I feel like it would be very difficult to be in that situation. He must like I don't know. Is she digmatized? I don't know what it is.
Well, does she have a job? I mean, does he take care of? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like if she's because is he like supposed to be wealthy? Because remember last year he like showed up in his, rented Ferrari or whatever the
Yeah,
hell. So I don't know if he's like wealthy. Like I don't know. And they do seem to have a decent. They seem to like each other even though they're fighting all the time.
they do.
And some of that stuff is like, what is culture? Like, what is language barrier? Like, what were they trying to say? And all this stuff we just don't know. But in either way, like to even have to come up with the mental gymnastics to make that okay for yourself, like, I don't know that I would be able to jump through those hoops. So his story is that he had a work party, I think, and that she flipped out on everybody and left the party. And so it's like
Yeah.
she made a big scene at the party and left, which sounds on brand. And she was saying, well, that's because everybody there is racist. So we don't really know what happened, but these two sound like a goddamn mess. I'll tell you,
Yeah.
they're both in totally different worlds with each other. And it sounds like each one is a mess in their perspective. Like it
Yeah,
sounds, it
their
sounds
own-
like rough to navigate.
Yeah, and this was a big fight because Amir came in and tried to like mediate and wasn't very helpful. And then they had like they actually talked about it the next day when they were sober. And actually what I liked is that he was trying to do this thing of like, I don't like to fight with you. I thought it was fun. It was the wrong place. And it's just like, no, I don't want to hear it because this is what you do. You're disrespectful. She wouldn't let him do like the puppy dog thing, which I actually really appreciated out of Bria. And I felt like she was totally right in this fight. And it sounds like she has been put in really miserable situations over in Germany, whether it's like intentional or not. It sounds like it really sucks. And it sounds like it's largely like a whole bunch of fuckery that's been happening. So I like that she really gave it to him. But in the end, they still wound up like together. So, they're just going to be one of those toxic couples that will
Yeah,
fight.
they're one of those
And
couples. They
Yeah,
love
one
to
of those
fight. They love a
couples.
public fight. And it's always very dangerous around those couples to pick a side because their love language is fighting. And
Yeah.
you're always going to be the one left on the outside in that couple if you give them advice or whatever. And Amir did. Amir was really funny because he was wasted. And so he's like, we're going to talk about you guys as a couple. And, you made them mad. And then you were not very thoughtful. Here's what you need to do to make Natalie happy. Don't ever look at a woman.
Amir was having the best time at that party. He loves that trampoline. Do you know, like, I feel like every episode he's like, hey guys, so we're just gonna do some dishes and then head out to that trampoline. Anyone want to follow? And so we see him at one point, like there's a crowd around him and he's just bouncing up and down on the trampoline, just like doing flips. He was just like living his best little boy life.
Yeah, he sure was. So then the other drams in this episode turned into more Nick drama. So Tasia is there visiting, for this couple's weekend or whatever, and Nick's big party. And Natalie, Amir's girlfriend, is just there to try and get on the show. I read that he said somewhere that he's not coming back to the show unless Natalie's coming with him. And it's obvious that they're trying to make her a cast member because she's just walking around trying to be as shitty and cause as much drama as she possibly can. And it's like, this isn't your show. I need you to you need to leave people wanting more. You're trying very, very hard and it's gross. It's gross. It's not, fun to watch.
That was my instinct, but then there was part of me that was like, well, I'm sort of like thankful that she was being like this because, we need a villain. We need a proper villain. And she could be our villain. She could be our messy, messy villain because she is so blatantly messy. So basically.
And this was one of their best episodes of the season.
It was.
And we have been complaining that there are no villains. So I'm not saying change it. I'm just saying I love having someone to be like, you shouldn't be doing that. Because that's what you're supposed to do on these shows. You have to have someone that you're like, you are totally wrong. I hope they fire her. Let's start at change.org. But you don't want them to actually do it. You need the villain on the show, right?
Yeah, you want someone that they don't fire, but that you get so angry that they're not fired, so you get
Right.
mad.
But as a person watching it, I'm like, gross. You're trying.
Yeah, as a person, I was like, you were really thirsty. I think it was because I think it was just that she's not a member of this show, that she just came to visit and then she like inserted herself and tried to start drama everywhere. That's where I was like, oh, you're kind of pathetic. But if she were an actual cast member, I'd be like, good for you. We need a villain. So the whole thing was that at one point, Noelle and Shanice and Bria are hanging out on the trampoline, and they're just like talking about Nick and saying how he's like, he's handsy or he's got a wandering eye or whatever, or like, like if I were Tasia, like I wonder if like how weird it must be. Like she comes here, she doesn't even realize that he's doing all these things, yada yada. They're just like chatting, and Natalie has one of these things where she goes, I just feel bad because these conversations are happening behind Tasia's back, and I feel like she should know. So what happens is, like the next day or later that day or whatever, the group is going to do this group bike ride, and they all meet up at a restaurant, and they meet up with Nick and Tasia, and they're all sitting there, and Tasia has only like 45 minutes before she has to go to the airport, and so Natalie across the whole table mouths, we need to talk. You and I, we need to talk. Like she's so clunky about it. She makes it clear to everyone sitting there that there needs to be a conversation and there may be some drama.
Yes. And so what does Tasia do? She's just like, okay.
She walks up to Tasia. She walks up to Tasia and she goes, we need to talk. I need to talk to you about something. And Tasia's like, I don't want to. She's like, I know you're trying to start some shit with me, and I've got 45 minutes left, and I want to enjoy what I have left, because last time I came here and you guys tried to start shit with me, and this year you're going to try to start it again, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah, she's like, well, but they're saying, why do you want to talk to her? And she's like, well, because I think there's stuff that's being talked about that you should be aware of or whatever. And she's like, no, I pass.
Tasia's like, I'm not a reality star.
Yeah, I won't be doing that. So, yikes. Okay. So then Nick is pissed now, right?
Because he is texting with what's her face, Natalie, on the way to the airport to be like, what was this all about?
What was going on? Yeah, and she's like, well, the girls were talking and they were saying that you're really touchy.
And he's like, what? He's like, why? He goes, why is it always something? He writes in caps, why is it always something? So now Natalie knows she fucked up. She goes, no. I just wanted to help her. I wanted her to get a story. I just want to give her heads up. I didn't want her to be blind. Said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. It was totally be helpful. Oh my God, I feel so bad. So she starts sending all these text messages like, I feel so bad. Like she was like, a messy person caught, and then Amir's trying to be like, she was just trying to help. She's just trying to like smooth things over. It was really coming from a good place.
Yeah, and he's basically like, well, look, she's friends with Tasia, so if people are talking about Tasia's, it's like she wants her to know what everybody's saying on camera, like she has a right to address it or whatever.
Right.
Which kind of makes sense, except the way that Natalie is going about it is just so obviously like, I'm doing this for the cameras, and doing it in front of everybody so that everybody's talking about it, and it's obviously causing drama. So he's kind of losing on that one.
Yeah, and so the other thing is that Natalie delivers the message of, she makes it sound like Shanice, Bria, and Noelle were all saying that Nick was handsy with them. So now Nick is upset. He's like, I understood, like I had my conversation with Summer and with Jordan, and that was squashed, everything's fine. But I also like, I was handsy with them because we have a close relationship, and I like, I misunderstood what was appropriate for me, whatever. But like with the other three, like that like literally never happened. So then he's mad, and he's like, there winds up kind of being like a little house meeting, and he's like calling out the girls and calling out like Noelle, and she's like, no. And then Shanice is like, I never said that about you. I was saying that it's just something that's talked about. And then he tries to call out Bria.
When he called out Noelle, that wasn't cool. He goes, and you, Noelle? I mean, what the hell? I know you want to be included in things, or I know you want to feel a part of things, but that's not cool. Yeah, it's like, Nick, you're in the right here, but you're also, it's like we're talking about with Paris, you know what I mean? Like, we should be rooting for you in this situation, but you
also have a wandering eye. Like they pull up all this footage of him just like staring at like other women, So then he tries to start up with Bria, and then he gets like really rude. I forget what he says to her, but she's like, watch your tone. And this was shockingly 2 for 2 for Bria for me. I was like, she's right in this situation too. She was like he was being really disrespectful to her, being like really condescending when you're the one with the wandering eye, sir. So the cliffhanger was basically her being like, watch your tone with me. And that was like the big drama that happened. And the only other two things that I felt were noteworthy was Alex. The whole episode was him just coming out of bathrooms, having just shat in them. It's like they'd be having conversations, and then all of a sudden Alex would be like, oh, hey guys, sorry, don't worry, I sprayed in there.
Yeah. And what was on the preview for next week, the season finale?
I don't
Did they
remember
show one?
actually. It's just I think
Yeah, I think next week's the season
usual
finale,
stuff.
so that should be interesting to see. But overall, I mean, I think they've had a rough season of it. I think we've talked
It's up
about it
and
before,
down.
getting rid of their villains and stuff. But I enjoy this show, and the viewership seems to be going up a bit. It was at around like 200,000, which isn't great, but it went up 100,000, so that's pretty good. And then who knows?
I think
I saw that they
yeah.
had casting notices for it a few months ago.
Good.
So.
I think
Hopefully
it's like a really good show, and I just think it's been like a little bit of an up and down season. Like there've been some episodes that have been really good, but then there've also been some episodes that have been like just really slow. It kind of reminds me of the second season of Summer House, the original. Like the first season I loved, second season felt actually just like this. It was a little uneven, but then they kind of like found their way forward. I think that like what's so good about Summer House Martha's Vineyard is that I think that like the cast is they're people that I enjoy. I just enjoy them. I think they're like their rapport is really fun and their banter is really fun and funny and they crack jokes and I sit there like I'm like one of their friends, you know. But it's just that without a villain, the show like you still have to have real like storytelling, you know. And so if you don't have a villain, it's just watching people hang out. So
Yep. Well, I'm enjoying it. It'll be over next week, so we'll see what's to come, everybody. In the meantime, sorry we're not doing full recaps of this show. There's just so many shows on, and we're just basically using who's listening to what kind of.
yeah, we're going with our ratings, to be honest.
We're following the listens at this point, and we just can't cover everything. But it's a great show. Hope everybody's watching it, and thank you so much for joining us here. We will be back tomorrow with some Vanderpump Rules or The Valley. One of those. What are we doing tomorrow? One of them.
No, maybe I don't know.
Valley.
Maybe we'll switch it up. Maybe we'll do the Valley tomorrow and do I don't know. Something
Who
will be up.
knows, everybody? Something.
We'll
every day.
discuss.
There's something every day. Thank you so much for being here. We love you guys. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.